What's going on, YouTube? Have you always wanted to design your dream garage? Well, you're in luck. Today is part one of the design series for my detached garage. Let's jump right into it. Welcome back to Detached Garage, guys. Again, in today's episode, we are starting the design process for my garage build. This will be part one. And if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Sean. This channel is all about helping you guys plan, design, build, and upgrade your garage. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of screen sharing here. I'll be talking to the camera a little bit, but overall, this is going to be a little bit longer episode than you're probably used to, but I've got a lot to cover from where I started and what I thought I was going to do for my garage design into where we're at today and kind of helping walk you guys through the process that I'm using to design my garage. Let's get right into it. So where did my garage design start and where should you start with your garage design? Well, the first is understanding what goals you have for your space and for your garage. So I'll link something up in the YouTube card up above here. It's a video I did a while ago on garage goals and my goals for the garage. I think that'll help give you an intro to why I'm designing this the way I'm designing it. So if you want to go check that out and then come on back, we'll start diving into the actual design of my garage. So about the goals, starting with those, and really where I got a lot of my inspiration for my garage build, I've always known I wanted to build a garage, but I never, you start thinking about one size or you start thinking about another size or how many garage doors it going to have, where's the lift going to go, et cetera, et cetera. But really getting down to it, it kind of started for me with conceptualizing that design with watching some of Tom's Turbo Garage videos on YouTube. And his garage had a really nice layout, and I thought it was very practical. I thought it was fairly affordable. And at the same time, it still gave you a lot of space. So if you're unfamiliar with Tom's Turbo Garage, I'll link that up in the description or up in the YouTube card up here as well. You can go check that out. But essentially, it was I believe it was a 31 deep by 41 wide. And the reason he did 31 and 41 was because he built it out of 2x6 construction. So that way he had a true 40 by 30 on the inside. And so that's really what I've wanted to do. That's kind of the general size that would even fit on our lot. But the real nice thing he had about it is two stalls with a loft above them and then one vaulted stall for the lift. And so I'll take you guys into the screen share right now and show you kind of how I had thought I wanted to do my garage. So as you know from watching previous videos, I have to do a 12-foot wide roof section from my existing house to my garage to go as large as I want to. If I don't do that, my limitations on size are up to, I believe it's 750 square feet. And also, I cannot go taller than 18 feet on the top part of the roof. So this 12-foot roof section is going to be crucial. But I kind of modeled my garage on this early concept that I did in SketchUp off of Tom's Turbo Garage. So my plan was to have two doors or two stalls to drive in here, and then the third stall on the end would have a vaulted area for the lift on the end. And then there would be a loft over these two stalls over here, and as well as kind of a little exercise area or hangout area, or wasn't really sure what I was going to do. But that is really that's how I modeled this garage after Tom's Turbo Garage. So really the roof lines were going parallel to the house, and this just looks a little weird. This pole in the background, that's actually a power pole or telephone pole. So this looks okay. It fit the needs. It definitely fit the goals for my garage. But I wanted, one of the big things for me was I really wanted to build a garage that I could put solar on and also have, a battery backup system. And so south is this direction over here. So this would mean I would have a large roof area, but it would only be facing east and facing west. And obviously I could put some on top of the house as well. But since we're in the northern hemisphere, it is much more beneficial to have a south-facing roof so you get more sun exposure throughout the day onto those solar panels. One of the other big things that was important to me, along with this roof section, and kind of worked out that we have to have it, is wanting to do that wash bay area and also that hangout area. So what we thought with this roof was, okay, it's great, but ultimately it doesn't have that south-facing roof for solar, which is actually very important for what I'm trying to do. So then I started playing around with a few other concepts. So this was a concept that I had done. So to still keep that 12-foot wide roof section, but to start with the south-facing roof so I could have a huge solar array right on here. The challenge with that is how Tom's Turbo Garage is set up is because of the direction of the roof line, you can vault the ceiling and you don't need to have as tall of ceilings throughout the entire garage. Where here, if we were to try and vault this ceiling, most lifts are 12 to 12 and a half feet tall, so you at least need a 13-foot ceiling. For a full-size lift, if you're not getting like a Benpack Grand Prix lift. So there would be quite a bit of interference here, and we'd probably have to tuck it into the rafters. So that, that was a bit of an issue, and this definitely met one of my goals for doing solar on the south side of the roof, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do the floor plan and how I was going to do the layout. So, but I was very much convinced that this model, with the roof line going perpendicular to the other roof lines of the house and to the current garage, was a much better, much more appealing setup, not only for me, but for the look of the property. I like this look a little better than three roof lines going parallel to each other. This breaks up the space a little bit better than the other one. So then I started looking for inspiration of how I was going to do this, how I was going to position the cars and the floor plan and the layout. And I really found two pages. One was the Sharkworks page. They have a much larger garage than I'm going to be building. I believe that garage is roughly 40 wide by 70 deep. And I'll be looking at basically 35 by 39 deep. And the Sharkworks garage, even conceptualizing how that looks, about 5 foot wider than what my garage is going to be. I liked the layout they had where you could park one car in front of the other and have the lift very far ahead and push to the front of the building and the front of the facility, and then park another car behind that. And so you could have something on the lift, you could have a project on there and be working on it, yet still pull a car in and out of the garage without disturbing that project. Great for long-term projects. You guys know I someday I would like to build an Ultima in my garage, and so that's going to take a while. It's not going to be done in a weekend. So I like that layout. The other garage I saw was a garage in Iowa, and I'll post some pictures up here. This is an attached garage, but it had another nice layout where you could do nose to tail on the cars and had a lift pushed forward and a nice cabinet array and everything like that. So I really liked that setup as well. And so that's when I started, moving beyond this concept phase. Then I started looking at, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to still have a loft area? How are we still going to have a hangout area like you can see here in the backyard? And yet still have the roof height for a lift without going crazy tall on the building and making it much taller than the existing two-story structure that we have. SketchUp is a great tool to start getting your thoughts on paper. You know, I'm not very good at it. You can see here, I have a ton of lines going a bunch of different directions, trying to figure out how to just get what's in my head onto the computer screen so I can move it around and manipulate it. SketchUp is a great tool to help get those thoughts onto paper. After that, then I did start working with an architect. So I'll show you kind of the first renderings here from the architect. So this drawing here is very similar to my SketchUp drawing, but this is really the initial design phase when you're talking with an architect, is that general massing and location of where the garage is going. So here we have the existing driveway that went out to here, and we were talking about keeping it in line with that. But since this is south facing and this is the north side of the roof, and the 12-foot wide roof section that's going to go between the existing garage and the new garage, there would get a lot of snow build up in here and then potentially be pushing against the house. So in future renderings, we pushed the entire garage this way to the south a little bit and had it extending over slightly from the garage itself. So the nice thing is this kind of helped me visualize it and look at it a little better, of where the wash bay was going to be, how tall this garage was. This is actually a foot shorter than the existing roof line of the second story house, but it does have the 13-foot ceilings. The doors are shown a little shorter here, but again, this was the first rendering on paper of trying to get my SketchUp thoughts into an actual architectural massing design to get the overall size of the garage and position of the garage figured out. So in addition, we had this hangout area still on the back. We just brought it all the way back versus my drawing, which had it stopping here. And I did post this on Instagram, whether you guys like the dormers or not. We're not going to go with this style of dormer because I want to make sure we have as much roof area as possible for the solar array here, but we are going to go with a dormer on the back side. So kind of getting this on paper, talking about a few things, talking about how we didn't like this area and how close this was going to be on the north side of the roof with snow and potentially melting and having some water damage on the side of the house, just wouldn't be ideal for what we were trying to do. So off of these first architectural renderings, we made some notes, we talked to them, we said, hey, can you change some things here? Can you change some things there? And eventually got to where we are at today. And so this architectural rendering, and I will flip back and forth here, is very similar to this one. However, we changed up the dormers, we added some windows, we did shift the entire building to the south by about 4 feet to get that position right. So, which helped clean up this area back here. There's a little more space between the roof section and the side of the house here, so snow won't sit there. We put this long, big dormer up here, which is going to be for the loft area, and we'll just kind of keep flowing around the house here. And so this is much closer to what the building is eventually going to look like. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit here, and we can take a look at how it relates. So I'm going to have roughly, here's the existing driveway that comes out here. So I'll have about 16 feet between the side of the building and the side of the existing garage. So we'll probably flip this door around the way it opens to open the other way. And so there'll be a little bit of a landing here and then steps that come down this way, since this is raised up a little bit. So then we still have the patio area that's covered. This is roughly, I think, somewhere between 12 and 14 feet off of the side of the building here. And then, so we'll have plenty of room to drive a car up the driveway, swing that car in, and have the boom pole right here from the pressure washer that's going to be in this mechanical room. So in here, we've got the general layout of the garage. So I'll throw the picture of the Iowa garage up here right now. And very similar. I've been talking with the owner of this garage quite a bit about, you know, where he positioned the lift, the distance off of the walls, both sides here, and the distance from the front. So we'll probably take this lift and move it to the east a little bit, move it closer here to make sure we can accommodate another car in here. This is a floor drain that goes across here, and then we are still figuring out what to do with this area over here. So it's going to be interesting how this is all going to play out, but I think a big thing that I can use your help on is where you guys think these stairs should go. So we have a few different stair configurations here. This is the initial thought in the first one that we had. However, for every foot of roof height or ceiling height that you go up, you basically have to add two stairs to the height of the overall staircase. So we could do this, we could move the lift back, we could have the stairs come up here, but the challenge is that would mean the top of the stairs would kind of be coming out right here, and this roof line is going to be a little bit lower. So the headroom here might be a little bit tough. You know, we're planning on having this, the bottom of this, be right about 8 feet, so we can take 8 feet of ceiling height from here all the way over, and then this would be sloped down a little bit. So trying to figure that out. Also, so the biggest thing I could use your help with is determining where the stairs go. So let's call this number one. This is stair option number one. Stair option number two would be to extend these out further, make the mechanical room a little smaller, and you can see in this bottom picture here where the stairs would come up, and then they would be right in this area here. So still kind of in this sloping area, which definitely isn't ideal, especially if you're carrying long things up. And I'm also taking up some valuable floor space in the garage by pushing the stairs out further. So again, this would be option one. And with kind of going further to the south with the top of the stairs, this would be option two, extending the stairs and then being able to push it a little less south. And then this is option three, which is kind of the one I'm leaning most towards, but tell me if you have another idea or another location for the stairs. I'd love to hear it. Drop that in the comments below. But we're thinking about moving the mechanical room off of the wall and not having it butt up against the wall, and then having the stairs come up and then over. So you would basically be arriving in the upstairs almost in the center of the building. And so this would have a very high mechanical room. It would offer a lot of space. I'm even thinking of potentially bringing the stairs out here. So drop it in the comments below. Do you like option one, option two, or option three for the stairs? And here's we'll go back here. I know I had another look here. So here's option three with the stairs and how that kind of looks. So the lift isn't pictured here, but the staircase would start back here, and then it would go up back behind the mechanical room. Tell me in the comments below what you guys think we should do here. Should we do full height all the way to the 13-foot ceiling? Or should we cap this and do like a storage area up top here where we could put things up there? Thinking the cabinet array would be something like this, and then obviously the lift would be right here. But that's kind of what we're thinking. The other thing we're thinking about is where the windows go. So we'll probably have one in the loft area back here. We'll have some along the edge here. Still undecided on the double doors, whether we're going to just keep that one man door on the side or do these here. This window, maybe not. This window would essentially shine light back here down this set of stairs. I like that it would bring light in, but at the same time, it just looks, I'm a big symmetry guy, and this looks a little off on the back side of the house. So the other thing that's not pictured here, we're probably going to be doing a built-in fireplace in this region, so there'd probably be some sort of chimney up this way with a built-in fireplace, and then we'll probably do some heaters in the ceiling as well as a built-in grill over here and potentially even a hot tub, a little sitting area. So all of that is future. If you want to check out my building in stages video, check that one up above. We're definitely not going to be able to do all of this right away. My goal is to get the bones of this building and fully framed, fully sided, concrete poured, and then be able to start working on this thing in the spring to summer next year. That would be my goal. Let me know what questions you have for my garage build. Again, this is episode 1, the general massing and location of the garage in location to the existing building and on the property of where it is going to go and kind of what features it's going to have. The next episode we are going to get into is space planning and floor planning. So trying to figure out precisely where the lift is going to go. Do we really need to have these doors? You know, we'll put models of all the pieces of equipment that I'm going to have in here. You know, leave room for the battery bank. We'll have the air compressor. We'll have potentially splitting some of this room off to do a bathroom with a shower and a toilet and a sink. So there's a lot of things to look at here in this next episode, but I think we have a really good general idea of how big and where it is going to sit in relation to the house. Again, if you guys have questions, please put them down below. Also, tell me what you want to see on episode 2, the floor and space planning, the floor planning and space planning of my garage build. Put those in the comments below as well. And thanks again for watching Detached Garage.